Okay, today we're going to look at factoring trinomials when you have a leading coefficient greater than 1. Here's our first example, 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. Now we're going to use the grouping method to factor these. So first of all, we'll take our first and our last term, which is our a and our c, and multiply those together. 2 times 3 is 6. Now let's list the factors of 6. Since my multiplication number is positive, that means I need same signs. To see what the signs are, look at your middle term. Since it's positive, that tells me all my factors need to be positive. So both of these sets of factors multiply to give me 6, but only 2 and 3 will add to give me my middle term of 5x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my middle term, 5x, and I'm going to replace it with the two factors that I just found, 2x and 3x. So I have 2x squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 3. See how 2x plus 3x add together to give me 5x? So what I've done is I recreated first, outer, inner, and last when I multiply my binomials. Now that I've got 4 terms, I'm going to make 2 groups. From each group, I'm going to figure out what the GCF is, and then I'll divide by the GCF. Remember, when you divide by a GCF, you pull it to the front of your parenthesis. So when you have your division completed, you should see each parenthesis is exactly the same. So you'll factor out your x plus 1, which is your GCF, and then you'll take your 2 other GCFs and put those into a parenthesis together. And you'll have 2x plus 3 times x plus 1. On number 2, multiply your first and your last number. 5 times 6 is 30. Now let's list the factors of 30. Okay, now my multiplication number is positive, so once again that tells me I need same signs. If I look at my middle term, I see that it's negative, so that tells me that all of my terms should be negative. So all of these multiply and give me positive 30, but only negative 2 and negative 15 will add together to give me my middle term of negative 17. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to replace negative 17m with my 2 factors that I found. So I'll replace that with negative 2m and negative 15m. Now let's make our groups, group 1 and group 2. The GCF of group 1 is m. The GCF of group 2 is 3. But as I look at my groups, my first group has a positive and a negative term. My second group has a negative and a positive term. So I know that when I divide these, the signs in my parentheses are not going to match. So if I don't have the same type of pattern with my signs, I need to make my second GCF negative to fix that problem. Now put your GCF in the front of your parenthesis and divide. Front of your parenthesis and divide. So see how both parentheses are exactly the same? So pull your GCF in one parenthesis and pull your matching parenthesis in your other. Number 3, 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. Now let's list the factors of 24. I need opposite signs. Whenever you have a negative for your multiplication number, you've got to have opposite signs. Your middle term, which is your addition term, is going to tell you what your biggest factor should be. So all of my big factors are going to be negative here. So everything multiplies to negative 24, but only 3 and negative 8 will add to give me negative 5. So I'll have 6y squared. Now I'm going to replace negative 5y with a positive 3y and a negative 8y. Which are the 2 factors that I found. Now let's make a group 1 and a group 2. In group 1, my GCF is 3y. In group 2, my GCF is negative 4. Now the reason I chose negative 4 is so that my groups will have same signs. Now let's divide by 3y, and I'll get 2y plus 1. Let's divide by negative 4, and again, I'll get 2y plus 1. See how both parentheses are exactly the same? So put your GCFs in the first parenthesis and put your matching parenthesis in the other. And finally, 12 times negative 5. So let's list the factors of 60. Okay, now to get a negative in multiplication, you have to have opposite signs. Since your middle term is positive, all of your big factors should be positive. So all of these will multiply and give me negative 60, but only negative 4 and 15 will add to give me positive 11. So I have 12c squared. Let's replace 11c with negative 4c and positive 15c. Now let's make two groups. Group 1 has a GCF of 4c. Group 2 has a GCF of 5. And since the sign pattern is the same in each group, both GCFs are positive. Let's divide by 4c, and that'll give me 3c minus 1 and 3c minus 1. Pull your GCF for one parenthesis, your matching parenthesis for the other. Now on every one of these, when you're finished, you should be able to FOIL first, outer, inner, and last to see how those are the same. Combine like terms in the middle, and it should be the same thing that you started with.